Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. Stock market is closed today, so you know that means we are jumping into the spreadsheets. We are taking a look at my 2025 dividend share count goals, how much capital it's going to take to get there, how much DRIP would purchase, and how we are going to get it done. We have some lofty goals this year. It's going to take about $18,000, so there's a spoiler alert. And how are we going to get that money? Are we going to be depositing? Are we going to be using DRIP? How much of it will be paid for by shares? And how big are we going to build some of our positions up? So let's take a look. Stock market's closed today, of course. So the account is sitting flat about $35,653. Buying power, $5,509. Of course, options on the table. We are up $50 on the MSTY put. We are break even on the Connell puts, and we are break even on the CleanSpark puts. So let's take a look at it. First things first, as always, just want to showcase and always share the actual share counts we have in the account. We have the SCHD, VTI, all the DTEs from Roundhill, YMAX, MVDY now at 100, CONY at 100, MSTY at 100, TSLY under 100, BITO under 100, and JEPQ under 100, sitting at 30 shares. So that's all the share counts that we have here in Robinhood. But like I said, I want to jump into the spreadsheet because the easiest way to set goals and attain them is by actually tracking them. So I set up a new spreadsheet. You know me, I love my spreadsheets. And we have some graphics on here. We have some charts on here. We have some numbers on here. And I wanted to jump into the data so that we can actually take a look at where we are in our share counts, how much we want to be at by the end of 2025, what kind of capital it's going to take to get there, and how we're looking to do it, right? So I wanted to focus on a couple of stocks. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, we talked about some of the stocks that I already have, some of the stocks that are at 100 shares that we're done adding to for right now or for this month. But I wanted to focus on the main stocks that I'm going to be adding in 2025, how much capital it's going to take. So first on the list, of course, SCHD and VTI. These are forever holds in the account for me. Very, very low dividend on these ones, but I like the growth trajectory. We have to have a little bit of dividends, high dividend in there, and we also have to have some growth plays in there as well. So we have SCHD, VTI, and JEPQ that are more growth plays. Of course, they offer a dividend as well, but very, very low. JEPQ, much lower. I think it's around 8 to 9%. Would have to check, but haven't looked at it for a while. That's just a set it and forget it. Buy it every once in a while, stack the shares, get paid dividends, and it's been growing. I think we're up like, 20 or 30% on the position there. Same with VTI. And then SCHD, I think we're up about 10%. So these are growers on the account, but I want to still add more shares to them, right? SCHD, we have 191 shares. I want to get that to 250. It's going to take about $1,500 to get there, which will bring us to a total equity of about $6,800 on today's prices. VTI next on the list. We have 9.34 shares of that. We want to get it to 15. Current share price is 291. So these are expensive shares. It's going to cost about $1,600, and that would bring us to just under $4,400 worth of capital in VTI if we get to that point. And then JEPQ, of course, we are at 30.15 shares as of right now. Share count total that I'm looking to get to is going to be 50. So we need 19.85 shares there. $1,127 would be the cost there, and that would bring our total equity in JEPQ to 2,841. So those are the low dividend ones, but I want to focus first in the first half of the year on adding a bunch of capital to my high dividend payers. Why? Well, because I want to get the DRIP on a self-sustainable level. Right now, the DRIP, you can see on average DRIP for XDTE is 1.054 since inception, QDTE 0.706 since inception, RDTE 0.80, and YMAX 1.53. Now, when I say since inception, that's since I started moving into these stocks. I've tracked it all the way along. You guys have seen it each and every single week as I keep track of the DRIPs. I've had DRIP on the entire time. We've been also buying the stock outside of DRIP, but that is the average in my portfolio on how much we're getting each week. So that data is important as we look to scale the account. And obviously, as of late, the last, let's just say 6 to 8 weeks, as my positions have grown, the DRIP has gone up. So this is a much lower number than it will be in 2025, but those are the things I want to keep in mind. Now, I'm keeping the goal very, very easy to keep track of, right? Let's just scroll up here a little bit. XDTE, I want 250 shares. QDTE, I want 250 shares. RDTE, I want 250 shares. And YMAX, I want 500 shares. Now, to do that, we're going to need to buy a lot of shares, right? XDT, we need 77 shares. QDT, 72 shares. RDT, 84 shares. YMAX, we need 162 shares. And then on the yield max side of things, TSLY, we're at 53.67 shares, and I want 100 shares there to get it in line with my other MVDY, CONY, and MSTY, right? All of those I want to 100 shares. So TSLY is next on the list. We might bulk order at it, or we might just continue to dollar cost average into it, but we need 46.33 shares there. So what's the cost it's going to take to get all of these to those share count goals? Well, the cost is just under $18,000, $17,945. And if you look at it, the total equity, it would take, once we get all of these share counts to our goals, would be, let me just scroll back a little bit here. SCHD at 6,830, VTI at 4,375, XDTE 12,492, QDTE 9,990, RDTE 10,197, YMAX 365, TSLY 1,380 right here, and then JEPQ 2,841. So we're talking about a lot of capital, right? This is a lot of coin that we'd be putting towards this, and this is how the percentage break down, right? If we look at the graphic down below, we're talking about 5% being JEPQ, 2.4% being TSLY, just under 15% for YMAX, just over 18% for RDTE, just under 18% for QDTE, XDTE sitting at 22.1%, which is where I want it. I want the S&P 500 to be one of the largest holdings, and that's what XDTE sells covered calls on. And then VTI at 7.7%, SCHD at 12.1%. So we love to see that, just under 20% on SCHD and VTI. And you can see the completion here. When you look at these, we are talking about moving all of these into the green. Some of them are in the orange right now, and slowly but surely, as the numbers get towards the 70 percentile, we will get them into the green, but we've got a lot of work. So let's talk about the work. Well, there's a couple of ways we can do it. Obviously, we can deposit fresh cash. Another way is to obviously turn on drip and let drip buy us the shares. So if we look at the average drip as of right now, to get to our XDTE goal on drip, it's going to take 73.75 weeks to get there. That's absolutely insane. We can't sit here on the wayside and wait 73 weeks to hit our goals for 2025. The math just doesn't math. We only have 52 weeks in 2025, and we are in the second week as of right now. So we don't have that much time. All we need to do is we need to purchase more shares. We need to let the drip go. Obviously, we hope that the drip will go up. And the only way it can do that is by the dividends going up each week, or our share count going up. So we control what we can control, and that is not the dividend. That is the amount of shares we have. So we got to buy more shares. 73 weeks on XDT, QDT 102 weeks, RDT 104 weeks, and YMAX 106 weeks. So they can drip themselves to that number, and that's a great part about this. Once you have drip on, and once you have enough shares, they're just slowly going to buy it. But the goal is to get these shares there, and then once they start getting closer to the number, for example, once QDTE starts getting towards that, I don't know, let's say 220 share mark, I'll probably stop buying shares and then let the drip do the rest of the work towards the end of the year, and then we'll take all the capital that we're putting into the account, all the capital we make from selling options, and all the capital from some of our other funds that we're making, like CONY, MSTY, and we'll take that drip, or all the money we're getting from those dividends, and we'll start reinvesting it into some of these, right, to start making the goal come faster and faster and faster. So how are we going to do it? Well, there's a couple of ways we're going to do it. We just talked about it a little bit, but weekly deposits. I'm putting $100 every single week, like I did last year, like I did the previous year. No matter what, we do 100 minimum fresh cash into the account, right? So that's a weekly deposit there. Then drip. If we take the drip on average of XDT, QDT, RDT, and YMAX, we're talking about $240 on average every single week that we're getting paid in dividends. And that's just the numbers as of right now. Obviously, these are going to grow over time. So Between those two, we're talking about $239.36 a week on average. Obviously, it can go up. Obviously, it can go down. But as we increase share count, the drip is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But we're talking about $253 or $239 a week. So what is our gap at the end of the year? Well, if we take the 239, we times it by the 12, of course, then we are looking at about a $5,500 gap. So we have to make that up. There's a couple of ways we can do it. One, of course, is going to be selling cash secured puts, collecting income from that, and reinvesting that. We did that last year. It made us, I don't know, I want to say about an average of $280 a month or $3,360 in 2024 is what we made from options booked profit. So we're already off to a nice month here in 2025. I think we have about $160 that we've made from the call puts. And yeah, so if we can average even I don't know, let's say $50 a week, that's $200 a month. That's half the goal right there. So if we can get that, we can pay for it all with options. Another thing, we can deposit more cash. But these are the numbers I want to look at. When you are a dividend investor, these are the kind of goals you want to be looking at, right? Obviously, here's our share count. We saw that picture. We already saw that in Robinhood, but these are the kind of things you want to do. You want to map it out. You want to see how the numbers work. Can you even hit these numbers? When you're setting goals, you have to make them obviously achievable, but you want to make them something that you're really pushing for. So this is how I'm going to do it. Weekly deposits, reinvesting all of our drip, some into the shares themselves, some into other shares, slowly grow our share count up, set goals, achieve goals, increase our dividend income, and slowly but surely we get closer to financial freedom, one share at a time. Anyways, just wanted to share this graphic with you. Wanted to share the Excel chart as I'm sitting here in the market close and I'm going over some of my portfolios. Wanted to share what are the goals I have for these funds this year, how I'm going to get there, how much capital is going to take, and how close are we to it right now. Appreciate everybody as always. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you're setting goals for 2025. Happy investing, and we'll catch you next time.